Good morning, I'm Craig Negrelli. It's Thursday, October 17th, 2024, and these are your Unbiased Updates. Vice President Kamala Harris goes on Fox News what she said about immigration and if she would continue policies implemented by the Biden administration. And the tragic death of a pop star in Argentina and what led up to his fatal fall.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world, these are today's Unbiased Updates.
Less than 20 days until America heads to the polls to elect the next president. Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump appeared on Fox News Wednesday. While Fox News is a familiar outlet for Trump, this was Harris's first interview with Fox News since becoming the Democratic nominee. In the one-on-one sit-down interview, Harris told Fox News anchor Bret Baier her presidency would not be the same as Joe Biden's previous 4 years after being questioned about past comments she made that she would not have done anything differently than the president.
So, you're not Joe Biden, you're not Donald Trump, but nothing comes to mind that you would do differently?
Let me be very clear. My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency. And like every new president that comes into office, I will bring my life experiences, my professional experiences, and fresh and new ideas. I represent a new generation of leadership. I, for example, am someone who has not spent the majority of my career in Washington, D.C.
At times during the interview, the anchor and the vice president talked over one another to get their point across, such as on the topic of immigration and the border.
So, looking back, do you regret the decision to terminate Remain in Mexico at the beginning of your administration?
At the beginning of our administration, within practically hours of taking the oath, the first bill that we offered Congress, before we worked on infrastructure, before the Inflation Reduction Act, before the Chips and Science Act, before the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the first bill, practically within hours of taking the oath, was a bill to fix our immigration system.
Yes, ma'am. It was called the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021.
Exactly.
It was essentially a pathway to citizenship for the... Yes, ma'am.
May I finish responding, please? But you have to let me finish,
You
please.
had the White House and the House and the Senate,
and
they didn't bring up that bill.
I'm in the middle of responding to the point you're raising, and I'd like to finish.
Yes, ma'am.
Kamala Harris put the blame on Congress for not passing a border security bill that was under consideration 9 months ago. When pressed about whether she had concerns about the health of President Biden, Harris remarked that Biden is not the one running for president. Trump is. And she mentioned former senior Trump officials who say he is not fit for office. Former President Donald Trump's town hall also aired on Fox News Wednesday with an audience made up of all women. During the event, Trump touched on the topics of abortion and IVF.
About IVF. I'm the father.
You don't hear that every day.
I'm the father of IVF. An Alabama judge had ruled that the IVF clinics were illegal and they have to be closed down. I said, no, we're totally in favor of IVF. We really are the party for IVF. We want fertilization, and it's all the way. And the Democrats tried to attack us on it, and we're out there on IVF even more than them.
Facing the question of abortion, why is the government involved in women's basic rights?
The states are now voting for it, and honestly, some of them are going much more liberal. Like in Ohio, I would have thought it might
some of them
be a
are
little
not
bit different, and some of them are not. But it's going to be redone. It's going to be redone. You end up with a vote of the people, and some of them I agree they're too tough, and those are going to be redone.
In response to Trump's father of IVF comment, Harris told reporters that it was, quote, quite bizarre. A Trump campaign spokesperson said Trump made, quote, a joke in jest when he was enthusiastically answering a question about IVF, as he strongly supports widespread access to fertility treatments for women and families. As Georgia enters day 3 of early voting, a judge has ruled 7 new rules put in place after the 2020 election are, quote, illegal, unconstitutional, and void. Among those were 3 particularly controversial rules, one requiring ballots be hand-counted after polls close, and 2 that had to do with certification of election results. The judge ruled the state election board did not have the authority to make those rules and ordered them to be immediately removed. The election board also has to inform all state and local officials the rules have been invalidated and not to follow them. Also yesterday, the Fulton County, Georgia district attorney who charged former President Donald Trump with interfering in the 2020 election asked an appeals court to reinstate multiple charges against him and his co-defendants that had been tossed out by the trial court judge earlier this year. Fawnie Willis argues the judge made a mistake in dropping 6 of the charges against Trump related to solicitation of violation of oath by a public officer. That ruling removed 3 of the charges Trump was facing in the case. The same judge later tossed out 2 more counts against Trump. Now to the escalating conflict in the Middle East. The United States bombed Houthi weapons storage facilities in Yemen on Wednesday night. The precision strikes by the B-2 stealth bombers, which were authorized by President Joe Biden, targeted 5 underground storage facilities used by the Iran-backed rebel group. U.S. defense officials say those facilities housed advanced weapons that the Houthis have been using to attack military and civilian vessels in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden for months now. The Archdiocese of Los Angeles has agreed to pay $880 million to victims of sexual abuse by clergy dating back decades. Attorneys for more than 1,300 people who say they suffered abuse at the hands of local Catholic priests reached the settlement after months of negotiations with the Archdiocese. It puts an end to more than 2 decades of litigation against the most populous archdiocese in the United States. The Archdiocese has previously paid $740 million to victims in various settlements, so this settlement put the total payout at more than $1.5 billion, according to the Los Angeles Times. This morning, the music industry and fans around the world are mourning the death of Liam Payne, a member of the British boy band One Direction. He died Wednesday at the age of 31. According to authorities in Argentina, Payne fell from a 3rd-story balcony at a hotel in Buenos Aires. The circumstances surrounding his death are under investigation. However, the AP is reporting police rushed to the hotel in response to a call about an aggressive man who could be under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Since the band took an indefinite hiatus in 2016, Payne embarked on a solo career. The singer has been open about his struggles with alcoholism, announcing in July of 2023 that he had been sober for 6 months after seeking treatment. Pop star Charlie Puth, who collaborated with Payne in the past, remembered the One Direction singer on social media, saying, quote, "Liam was always so kind to me. I cannot believe that he is gone. May he rest in peace." Payne is survived by his 7-year-old son, his parents, and 2 older sisters. Finally this morning, for those craving pizza, but not so much with company, Pizza Hut has come up with a concept just for you. Take a look. Behold the Personal Pan Pizza Hut, a small restaurant experience only offering the pizza chain's popular 6-inch Personal Pan Pizza. Yeah, it's like pizza in a phone booth. Guests who are able to snag a reservation can customize their pizza any way they want it in their personal hut. The Personal Pan Pizza Hut will only be around in New York City for 2 days, sometime later this month, so spots are limited. Reservations open later today and are available on a first-come, first-served basis. So if you end up missing out, don't take it personally. And as they say, no one out-pizzas the hut. That's their slogan. Those are your unbiased updates for Thursday. We'll see you back here tomorrow. For all of us here at Straight Arrow News, I'm Craig DeGrelli. Have a great day.